Hello, clever kids. Welcome to our story corner. Today, we're diving into a very exciting and just a little bit scary tale about listening to your parents and outsmarting a cunning enemy. Get ready for the story of the wolf and the 7 little kids. Our story begins in a cozy little cottage nestled at the edge of a big forest. Inside lived a kind mama goat with her 7 adorable little kids. They were a happy, playful bunch, but their mother was always very protective of them. One sunny morning, Mama Goat needed to go into the forest to find food for her family. Before she left, she gathered all her children around her for a very serious talk. "My dear children," she said, her voice full of love, "I must leave you now to find us some food. While I am gone, you must be very, very careful. Be on the lookout for the wolf. He is a terrible, tricky creature who will try to sneak into our house and gobble you all up." The eldest kid, trying to be brave, asked, "But Mama, how will we know it's the wolf and not you?" Mama Goat nodded. "That's a good question. You will know him by 2 things. The wolf has a rough, gruff voice, while mine is soft and sweet, and he has big black paws, while mine are white. If you hear a rough voice or see black paws at the window, do not, under any circumstances, open the door. Do you promise?" "We promise, Mama." The 7 little kids all bleated together. With that, Mama Goat set off into the forest, though her heart was still a little worried. After Mama Goat left, the little kids locked the door and started to play games. They were having a grand time when suddenly they heard a loud, rough knock at the door. A deep, gruff voice called out, "Open the door, my dear children. It is your mother, and I have brought you all some delicious things to eat." But the kids remembered their mother's warning. They shouted back through the door, "No, we won't open the door. You are not our mother. Our mother has a sweet, gentle voice, but your voice is rough and gruff. You are the wolf." The wolf was very angry that his trick had failed. Grumbling to himself, he ran to a nearby shop and bought a large piece of chalk. He ate the entire piece of chalk, and just like that, it made his voice sound soft and sweet. He hurried back to the cottage and knocked on the door again. This time, he called out in a high, sweet voice, "Open the door, my children. It is your mother, and I have a present for each and every one of you." The sweet voice nearly tricked them, but the clever little kids were still cautious. They called out, "If you're really our mother, first show us your paw under the window so we can see it." So the wolf placed his big black paw on the windowsill. The kids peered out and gasped. They cried, "No, you are the wolf. Our mother has pretty white paws, and yours are big and black. We will not let you in." Now, the cunning wolf was absolutely furious. He couldn't believe these little kids had outsmarted him twice. He stormed off to the baker's shop. "I have hurt my paw," he lied to the baker. "Please wrap it in some soft dough to make it feel better." The baker, who was a little afraid of the big, scary wolf, did as he was told. Then the wolf ran to the miller. He demanded that the miller sprinkle white flour all over the dough-covered paw. The miller was also scared and quickly covered the wolf's paw in fine white flour until it looked completely white. The wolf, now feeling very confident, returned to the cottage for the third time. He knocked softly and called out in his sugary sweet voice, "It is your mother, my dears. Open up. I'm back from the forest." The little kids said, "Show us your paw first." The wolf placed his paw, now perfectly white with flour, on the windowsill. The little kids looked, they saw the white paw, and they heard the sweet voice. They thought it must truly be their mother this time. They were completely fooled. With great excitement, they unlatched the door, and in burst the massive, horrible wolf. The 7 little kids screamed in terror and scattered, trying to hide. One jumped under the table, another scrambled into the bed, a third hid in the oven, and the others found their own hiding spots. But the wolf was too big and too fast. He sniffed them out one by one, and gulp, he swallowed 6 of the little kids whole. The only one he didn't find was the very youngest, who had cleverly hidden inside the big grandfather clock in the corner. The greedy wolf, his belly now huge and round from his meal, felt very full and sleepy. He lumbered out of the messy house, went to the riverbank, lay down under a big tree, and fell fast asleep, snoring loudly. A little while later, Mama Goat returned home from the forest. She was horrified to find the cottage door wide open and everything in a terrible mess. Chairs were overturned and toys were scattered everywhere. She called out for her children, her voice trembling. "My children, where are you?" She called for them one by one, but there was no answer. Finally, when she called the name of the youngest, a tiny, muffled voice replied from inside the grandfather clock. "Mama, I'm in here. The wolf came. He tricked us, and he had all my brothers and sisters." Mama Goat helped her youngest kid out of the clock and hugged him tightly. Then she looked out the window and saw the big bad wolf sleeping by the river. She noticed something strange. His stomach was wriggling and moving. An idea flashed into her mind. "Quick," she whispered to her little one. She ran and fetched her sewing kit, which had scissors, a needle, and thread. Creeping very quietly, she went right up to the sleeping wolf. With a snip, snip, snip of her scissors, she carefully cut open the wolf's big belly. And what do you think happened? Out popped one little kid. Then another, and another, until all 6 of them were out, completely alive and unharmed. They hadn't been chewed at all. Oh, what a happy reunion that was. But Mama Goat wasn't finished. She whispered to her children, "Quickly, go and find some large, heavy stones, as big as you can carry." The 7 little kids ran and gathered heavy stones from the riverbank. They filled the wolf's belly with the stones until it was completely full. Then Mama Goat, with her quick fingers, sewed his belly right back up. The wolf slept through the entire thing. He was so full and tired. After a while, the wolf finally woke up. He felt incredibly thirsty, and his stomach felt terribly heavy. "Oh," he groaned, "all those goats are like stones in my stomach." He staggered over to the river to get a drink of water, but as he bent over, the heavy stones inside his belly made him lose his balance. He tumbled headfirst into the deep water ... and with a big splash, he was gone. The weight of the stones pulled him right to the bottom, and he was never seen again. But Mama Goat and her 7 little kids saw the whole thing. They cheered and danced happily around the river, so relieved to be safe at last. From that day on, they always listened carefully to their mother, and they knew that being obedient and clever was the best way to stay safe from any danger. And that's the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to always be brave, be smart, and listen to the grown-ups who love you. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to join us for another story time soon. Bye for now.